Hi, I'm Dr. Matthew Norton of People Plus Purpose, and you have found the Truth Behind Dentistry podcast. And today, my special guest is Denise Williams-Jones. Welcome, Denise. Denise has filled a vast array of roles, and when I say vast, I mean vast array of roles from chairside assistant to team trainer to community outreach and marketing liaison since she began her dental career in 1995. This has all informed her work now as a speaker, author, customer service consultant, coach, and the founder owner of Next Level to Success. Welcome to the podcast, Denise.
Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Yes, I mean, you've done a lot of different things. But before we go into maybe some of those specifics, as you know, seems relevant, this is the Truth Behind Dentistry podcast. So I often like to ask people if they have a truth that they would like to share. And maybe for you, there's something that you would want to share maybe in from these years of experience that you would like to see change in the dental industry. Maybe you can go that direction for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Since I've been in the field since 1995 and I was a team member for many of those years, there's a lot of things from the team aspect
Mm.
that I felt needed to be changed, and I still feel that way. Both doctors that I worked for two doctors over almost 20 something years. And both doctors that I worked for really had it dialed in, and they really invested in their team and they trained us.
Mm.
So we were able to really be leaders and empower our teams. However, in having so many different trainings and dealing with probably 15 different consultants over the United States and seeing
Mm.
the way that they trained us,
Mm.
um, there weren't a lot that had been in the trenches,
Mm.
been team members, and really spoke to the team. It
Mm.
seemed that a lot of times they would come and we got benefit from some and others not. But there was a lot of team eye rolling as we were team members, like, you have no idea what really is going on.
Mm.
So that started to kind of spark this idea of there's something that needs to be changed, because a doctor can't do it alone. That's the bottom line. And in the past, we've put so much emphasis on the doctor and we forget the team, and we forget that it's the culture. And so that sparked me to say, you know what? I want to go out as a team member and I want to help teams because I understand them. I speak their language. I
Mhm.
also speak the language of the doctors because I had two very successful doctors that I worked for and was their right hand. So I felt like I could be a good liaison and start to change things in dentistry and really get the team empowered. So that's kind of what I want to change. That's what sparked me, really being there to make a difference within the office from a different aspect.
So that's kind of that makes a lot of sense. And so that's kind of your maybe what qualifies you uniquely in many ways to speak to some of the challenges that show up. So in terms of what would need to change then a little bit might be more, would you say more of a team focus, more of an understanding of and prioritization of the team, or how would you frame that?
The way I would frame that is that I believe in dentistry, we've missed the mark quite a bit. I believe that in dentistry, we focus too much on clinical. Now, hear me out when I say clinical is important because people come to the dentist and they're coming there to get a service. However, we're forgetting about the culture. We're forgetting about the atmosphere. We're forgetting about making them feel like they want to be there. So I feel that if we don't lock that culture in, it doesn't matter how good you are. It's not like the old days. The old days you went to Dr. Smith and well, he was just, that was the family guy in the neighborhood and everybody went to him whether he was good or not. No, no, no. We have a dental office on every corner in some offices and some states. I'm in California. There's some buildings that have 6 or 7. So what makes you stand out? It has to be about more than good dentistry. It has to be about more than great dentistry. A lot of times we'll focus on clinical doctors will invest in the absolute top of the line equipment and they don't invest in their team. They don't invest in the culture. They don't invest in making the patient feel welcome there. So you can be the greatest dentist of all, but if you don't have your culture locked in, no one's going to ever get in that chair to see it. If you don't invest in your team and train them to close cases, to answer the phone correctly, to welcome the patient, to know how to understand the knowledge of what's going on. And if you're not team-centered and you're patient-centered, your team's not going to do it for you. See, if the doctors are team-centered, the team will be patient-centered. It starts here and it rolls down. And we've been missing that mark. And so by going in and readjusting the culture to say kind of like the Target experience, Target tells you what to buy. You know, you go into Target for one thing and you buy a bunch of things because it feels great and you're happy. The same thing needs to happen in our offices. The same thing needs to happen because when you go in as a consumer to any other place, if you go in and it feels off, you don't want to purchase. You know, I don't know. I'm going to let you know. Why would it be any different? So if we're centering so much on the clinical, which again, hear me, it's important, but we're not putting and investing in our team to know how to handle that call. When they call, you're the first representation. It's weird. They always put the most inexperienced person on the phone, and I don't get it.
Right.
And first thing I do is say, what are you doing? You know, they don't know how to represent your office. So let's get it locked in there and it will flow. And they'll have the Target experience where they're going to, okay, I'll get more and I'll get more. And working in the offices that I've worked in and coaching the offices that I'm coaching, this changes the bottom line. It does. It really does. It changes the team atmosphere. It changes the morale. It empowers the team and you get the right culture in. It's smooth sailing. Now, is every case going to close? No, but you're going to change the dynamic. And I feel that we don't have enough people out there having crucial conversations and saying, look, this needs to change. I'm that consultant, I'm that speaker that says, hey guys, times have changed. Let's roll with it.
That's good.
That gives you an idea.
Yeah, no, that's very good.
I'm passionate about customer service.
I can tell, and I agree with everything that you said. I have not only do I have an argument, I second the motion on all those things. I've often said that you know that your people are your biggest expense for most practices. They could be your greatest asset, but you're not letting that be the case. That there's a looking past the team to focus on the patients. And I think, as you were saying, that's a mistake. You could recruit all those people to be your amazing representatives. And it's also been interesting to me to see the differences in perspective over the years when you speak to the doctor owner, sometimes a key leader versus the rest of the team and how they see things. And I think the doctors are not getting that wealth of input perspective that they could benefit from.
Right. It's true. It's like I said, it's so focused on having the best laser, the iTero, the CEREC, and that's great.
Right.
But if your chairs are empty, nobody's going to see that. Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very good. So you, with all these experiences you've been through, now you have a company. And how long have you had Next Level to Success? How long have you been building that?
So I've been building it for about 4+ years. The way that it started is I had this desire. So growing up, the religion I was in, I come from a family of 12. And I've got an amazing example from my parents. They were just really locked in on, my father would say, always leave things better than when you found them. And so I often, when I'm speaking at different lectures, I always quote a lot of things that my dad said. So growing up, we were in a religion where we went door to door. And I did that from 5 years old. I'm no longer part of that religion. But when I did leave it, first I kind of had this thing where it's like, oh, I don't know what I was part of. Is this good for me? Whatever. Then I started to focus on the good things that I learned, even though I'm not part of it.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I learned is when we would go on Saturday morning and knock on doors, and I would do 90 hours a month as a teenager doing door to door, you never knew who was on the other side of the door.
Right.
So I didn't realize I was actually being groomed to be
Yeah.
adaptable.
Yeah.
Whether it was a male, a female, educated person, non-educated, it was religious, atheist, Republic, Democrat, doesn't matter, black, white, Asian,
Right. Yes.
we had to adapt. So being that I'm 54 years old and I did that from 5 to 26, um, I'm quite adaptable. Put me in a room with somebody, it doesn't matter. I don't get intimidated. It's in my nature. Give me a few minutes to adapt and I will. So when I started to form this business, I thought this is really good because I grew up speaking to strangers. I grew up with I don't have the fear. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. How can I put this into what I'm seeing that's lacking in dentistry? It took a while to form. The doctor I worked for, I said, can I run the program in your office for about a few years as I went from 5 days to 4 days to 3, and then I quit. And I let me run the program and let's run the stats and see if this works because I do not want to go out
Mhm.
and talk about something that's not real and teach something that does not get results. And we did, and we tripled his production collections. There were things that were not good, I got rid of. There were things that were amazing, I kept. There were things I tweaked. But
Mhm.
what it was a great exercise because 2 years ago, I was speaking at a conference in Oregon, and the keynote was there. I didn't know the keynote was there when I spoke the day before. So then the day that the keynote spoke, the next day, he gets off the stage and I thought, is he walking towards me? So he starts walking towards me, walking towards me, walking towards me. I'm like, he's walking towards me, right? And then he's like, can we get a round of applause for her presentation? And then he said, I want to talk to you on the break. And on the break, he said, well, what's the deal? Why are you not doing this full time? And I started to kind of ramble excuses. And he said, nope, stop. And he said, why are you not? And he said, I'm gonna ask you one more time. And I said, fear. I knew I had something great here,
Mhm.
but I also knew that going to work every day, I had something stable. And I was like, am I gonna jump off the ledge here?
Yeah.
And that was what clicked and said, it's time. So 2 years ago, officially, I quit and said, let's do this. And so best decision I ever made in my life.
Great.
So
Yeah.
I speak at conferences. I love speaking. I consult offices. I love building relationships. I think that's what it's about in our industry. And I love changing the idea of dentistry. I believe that back in the day, it was more male that they were speaking, and everyone looked a certain way. And I believe in the 2024 and moving forward, we all have gifts that God gave us that we bring to the table. We all look different. We all know we're different sizes, we're different colors, shapes, forms. We have different education background. Um, and I believe that we all have something to bring. And so uh, I finally said, I'm not going to be afraid anymore to show the world what my gifts are because I want to help people. So officially full time, 2 years, but it's been in the making about 5 years.
Yeah. Great. Well, congratulations for
Thank
that.
you.
And I just
Thank
want
you.
to tell you that I just feel inclined to say I'm proud of you for that courage to walk forward into the uncertainty. But life is always uncertain, right? We're always
Hmm.
into uncertainty. So why not walk into uncertainty that is at least giving you a chance to make the greatest impact, right? So good for you in doing that, which then makes me want to ask, you know, maybe a little bit more that you could elaborate on what makes your work unique and how do you see yourself making the greatest impact? What do you feel is the greatest impact that you would like to bring to people?
I would like to empower the team to understand that they are the gatekeepers of the office. That yes, the doctor is the doctor. I would like to inspire them and empower them to take leadership and to understand that they are important and they are just as important. I know a lot of doctors don't want to hear it, but they're just as important as the doctor. They bring something to the table that can close cases. I have witnessed it. I have trained it. I have done it. Where they come, we all know the saying, the doctor gives the diagnosis, he walks out and they look and they go, do I need this? Now, you have the doctor who's treating their team poorly, and they say, and doctors don't want to believe it, but it's happening. They're the ones that treat their team poorly. They don't respect them. They throw instrument. Patient comes up. Do I need this? No, we can watch it. Let's make your 6-month. Then later the doctor comes up and says, hey, Mrs. Jones didn't cancel. She's got to talk to her husband. You have the team that's respected, empowered, knows that the doctor cares and doesn't look at them as the help, but the team member invests in them. Hey, we have this case. Mrs. Jones says, do I need this? And the team says, absolutely. And my doctor is going to make you look beautiful. And don't you have that wedding that your daughter's getting married in 6 months? You are going to feel amazing when the doctor finishes your work. It's emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring emotion. I've been told by people, oh, you're nothing more than a cheerleader. And at first I thought, well, then I looked up the definition and I said, I am a cheerleader. I will cheer your team. I will stay till the end. I will teach them to give that synergy that is needed to create the right atmosphere and close those cases. I want to be that person in the industry that comes in there and retrains these doctors to get it and retrains the team to understand, I'm you. The religion I was in didn't allow us to go to college. So I found myself at 26, a 26-year-old Black woman with a 12th grade education, with a divorce, my first marriage. What am I going to do? I had left my community. I had left my family. I was shunned. I almost ended up homeless. What am I going to do? And I went to dentistry to be an RDA. It saved my life. Little did I know years later. I understand that front office, most of the front and the team have a different education, and that doesn't make them less than. And I am on a mission to train teams and doctors to understand that you need to tap into those hidden gems. They're sitting in your office. And if you don't train them right and you don't get the right culture, they're not going to close the cases. And I want the team to understand how much power they have. So that's my goal in doing this. Now, it takes a while because people don't know you. So it takes a while, but I'm not afraid of hard work. And so I know that the teams I've worked with, the places I've spoken, I am always building relationships to show them that I'm authentic. I think there's too many fake things out there. And I want to be that person who's real, who wants to say, this is my background. This is my, these are the things that are important to me. I'm passionate about it. I believe it can be done. I know it can be done. And I know that I'm the person to help them. And I'm very confident. It's not arrogance. It's confident that if we can lock this in, we won't have, people go to the doctor. They may not like it, but they go. But what do they say about the dentist? I hate the dentist. There's power in words. And I want to be part of that change, of changing that. And I believe that I can. I know that I can.
That's great. I love that. And I think, I could hear the cheerleader conversation probably that rolled around in your head at first. But I agree with you in the sense that, that could seem like the comment is that's not substantial enough. But when you think, well, what is substance? What is substantial? It's not like we need more head knowledge so much of the time. I mean, sometimes we are missing some information, some ideas that could really help liberate us and move us forward. But it really is those what are often called soft skills, which are really human skills, right? These are the human skills are often what is missing, which is so much of what you're talking about. And so a cheerleader, a motivator, somebody to inspire, and you're saying being on a mission. I mean, what's more powerful than being on a mission, and quite a story that you have that is inspirational because of all that you went through and all that you didn't have and all that you needed to, even more that you stepped forward into building something that wasn't what was necessarily given to you, right? So good for you in that regard, but it's experience, it's heartfelt, and that passion makes a difference. And I believe it is exactly what doctors need. to bridge from their, sometimes, genius smarts and incredible technical skills to be able to truly have the impact they want to have, to achieve the results at the highest level they want to have. So I'm totally with you in that, and I think that that's awesome. We're already kind of at the end of our time, but before we end, what else is there? What one more thing might you want to say, maybe especially to the doctors specifically that are listening?
Doctors, I would like to say, so it is very important to have the correct culture in your office coupled with efficiency. Um, when I was in the office and I had Dr. Track, I had over a 3.5 year span, a 72% closure rate. I closed cases. The reason I close cases is because I have the knowledge to close it, but I also couple that with engagement and culture. I don't say that to be arrogant. I say that you have people in your offices that can do this. If you are willing to invest in your team and you have someone that can bring the right culture, train them to answer the phone, train them to do the marketing in the correct way, train them to engage with your patients, you won't have trouble filling your schedule. You also won't have trouble with turnover because you're trusting your team and your team will have your back. And that is something that I think we have to understand, that what I bring culture, but I also bring knowledge because I know my stuff. Because I'm still an RDA since 1995, and I know my phone skills and I know my everything. I know how to close cases. So I couple that under customer service. You want the Nordstrom's experience, you want the Ritz-Carlton experience, you want the Target experience of people coming in. You need to invest in your team. Bottom line, as much as you cherish that handpiece and that iTero and that laser and that CEREC, that's great. But you have human capital there. You need to invest in your team. And if you need help, I would love to come help you do it.
Perfect, Denise.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Mic drop, right? So for all of those people who are with us, who are convinced by that, which would not be surprising that would be many, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you to learn more?
So you can go to my website, which is nextleveltosuccess.net. There is a button on there that says click for a free consultation. Let's have a conversation. You can also email me, Denise WJ at nextleveltosuccess.net. Please follow my Instagram. I do daily quotes, motivation, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, Next Level to Success. Let's have a conversation. I'm not the consultant that, yeah, I'd love to work with you. But if we have a conversation, you have a question, I'd love to help you. Not only to doctors, to team members. If you need to reach out and ask, and if I don't have the answer, I will always send you to the right place to find it. Let's talk.
Great. Well, I so appreciate your time today. Thanks for your contribution. You shared some great gems, so I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. So thank you for watching. This is the Truth Behind Dentistry podcast. I'm Matthew Norton, and today I've been with Denise Williams-Jones. And we thank you for spending time with us. We hope that you will subscribe if you haven't done that. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you.